but subject to change by all of us. So it is possible to change it, I don't have a problem with it, and if we all agree that a route on how to handle it, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem changing it either.
No.
But the issue at hand is, what are we presenting to our budget committee? I mean, I'm hearing $500,000 worth of paving projects. We're asking them for $235,000.
Right.
Do we add another 100? Do we not add 100? What are we doing, I guess?
Well, and the 235 is level funding for what we've been doing for the last number of years. I recall a conversation in the fall, as we do every year with you, about should we do more, or is this keeping the plan going? And I think what you've indicated is 235 is keeping up with a plan going forward to rebuild these town roads. Not that, and so if we throw $100,000 extra at it this year, will that do more roads? No question about it, it will. So then the next question is, where do we go from here? Where do we go next year and the year after and the year after? And I know the plan you've laid out it seems to me to be a reasonable approach to rebuilding and maintaining the town roads. If, for instance, we add $100,000 this year, then does that become the new norm? That we'll go to $335,000 a year in rebuilding roads and compress the overall cycle? Or is the thought that we'll do a one-time, 1 year, address some extra stuff? And one of the things about doing if all we do this year is base coat work, then we got catch up next year in terms of the top coat on the section of Durgan that was done last year. There's no question in my mind that if we pave more miles of road, then we're going to have, in 2018, we'll have more miles of new road than we do today. And we have a number of roads that need work. I've been of the opinion that the approach you've taken has been reasonable. Again, whether it's this road or a different road that gets the nod this year is always up for discussion, and in terms of where's the right place to go this year. Lloyd mentioned that nobody said anything to him about Brown Road, and a lot of people have said something to him about Federal Corner Road. My experience has been the opposite. Over the last 2 years, I've had a number of people say, that lower section of Brown Road is really bad and it needs work. I know you've done some work in there digging out boulders and trying to bring it up, but and I don't have any great sense for difference in traffic over Brown Road as opposed to on Federal Corner Road, but I've had a lot more people come to me talking about the problems on Brown Road than I have on Federal Corner Road. So I guess I'm hearing from different people than Lloyd is. So I think we have two separate related questions on the table, if you will. One is, what roads do we pave in 2018? I think you said before that really the final call on that is in the spring, once everything settles down and we get out and take a look at them. You've got a better picture at that time as to which ones need the attention. And then a separate question is, do we want to throw more money at road paving in 2018 than we have over the last number of years? Or do we want to work within a level budget, if you will, and do it in a way that that continues to address the town needs? I do think that it's important, once we do a base coat, that we not let too much time elapse before we come back and do the top coat, because that's what holds it all together going forward through the road's life. And if we wait too long and the edges of the base coat start breaking down and other things start happening, then the two-layer system doesn't work as well. At least that's my understanding. Is that?
Yes, it's the edges that I'd be more concerned about, but we have actually let a section of Sodom Road go 2 years before we put the finish coat on. It seemed like it held up fine. It wasn't a problem,
Mhm.
but just trying to stay with a standard routine. Try to do it the following year.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean that we have to, but we at least have to look at it in the springtime and make that decision.
Yeah, I mean, it looks to me as though you could do another, I mean, you're not much over a mile, actually. You're at 67,000 feet.
Yeah, if you were to actually grind a mile of road and then put a base coat down, I think you're looking at about $264,000.
The grind a mile is 35,000. That's the ballpark figure.
How'd you come up with that?
264 and 35 is kind of a big spread.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but that's
No,
right,
no.
and put down base coat, he was just saying reclaim.
No, just
But even,
having the equipment grinding this road a mile, the ballpark figure is, it's 35,000. Now, you're
And
gonna,
where does that ballpark come from?
that's what the paving companies estimate. For that piece of equipment to grind the road, you gotta grade it, you gotta add to it, you gotta reclaim culverts, you gotta put the headers on them.
So I came up with 49,000 to do a reclaim on.
A mile?
Oh, no, I might be wrong, I'm sorry. That was actually 10,000 feet, I apologize, right.
And I won't even confuse the issue by is it a 22-foot road or a 21-foot
Oh, you know
road?
what, actually, okay, so, Shirley Way is actually about a mile to do that road. And I had actually 25,000. for the
Shirley Way
reclaim.
is 5,070 feet, Chandler Way is 1,100, and Woodland Road is 500.
and your
Yeah, we're all
average,
three, yeah.
okay, for these two projects that you listed here, for
Yes.
Durkin Road and Federal Corner Road, you're averaging $22 a foot.
Yes.
Yeah, so
So
actually,
if you're adding another 6,000 feet, you should be adding another $12,000. No, 20,000.
I came up with 136,000 if you reclaimed just Shirley Way, none of the site, not Woodland or Chandler. That'd be reclaim and base paved would be, and these are just budget numbers to go by, hopefully they come in less. 136,000.
So that would put us up to $300,000
Yes.
$270,000, $370,000 on our budget, which I think might be a little strong.
Yes. That was reclaim those three roads. Excuse me, that was top coat those three roads.
Okay, not doing a reclaim.
That's right.
Okay,
And the reason for, we haven't even got into the sand system
yep.
that they used in Ossipee. They did 5 miles of road over there. It's ground up rubber tires. Shirley Way is a different type of road. It's a different use road
Correct.
than even Federal Corner Road with the camp up there and the two roads going off it.
Probably less trucks on it, and that's
Yes.
probably the most damaging part of
Right.
any road.
Recently, snowplows, I'm sorry.
That's a big truck.
That's an attempt at humor, not a zing. I apologize.
But Shirley Way currently just has a single coat on it. that right?
That's what I understand.
Right. So,
That was before.
given that that it's deteriorating and breaking down, if we just go lay a top coat over it, does that address the issue, or do we have to go back in and fix the underlying problem?
I think we're gonna look at it in the springtime, determine what areas need to be dug up. If we see, like, if you see a lot of alligator cracking, that means the base underneath it is no good. If it has the shape that we're already looking for, you could probably just throw a top coat over it, but more than likely, we're gonna have to probably have a shim coat, then a top coat.
On my,
to get the shape.
I didn't mean to shut you up. On my proposal, I said, take the current funds, after you do these two projects, and there'd be 26,800 left in your paving budget.
Paving and reconstruction budget.
Yep.
So we can pave and reconstruct somewhere around 7,000 feet of road under the current formulation. So the question remains, do we want to put more money in that budget and do more road, assuming that it's gonna cost us $22 a foot? So if you do another 1,000 feet of road, I don't know how long North Line Road is, for instance.
I actually have that.
As you should, a road agent.
Fine.
5,650 feet is what he's
Proposed.
5,650?
That's just the paved section, because it obviously has the dirt section as well.
We can pave that dirt section.
I'm sure we'd like that.
I have North Line Road, 7,150 paved feet. And I got it right off the statistics.
Okay, so now let's go back to the dirt, or the Brown Road issue. You want to do half of it, the back half, and not do the front half, or do Federal Corner? I guess, how long is the Federal Corner piece that's paved?
The Federal Corner entire length is 9,994 feet. I recommended in my proposal to do the first 2,500 feet next year, in lieu of Brown Road, in lieu of North Line Road.
In lieu of
That's right,
Brown.
that's right. Whether we bump Brown Road and North Line Road down.
North Line, actually, the section from Ledge Hill to the first house on the right is really falling apart.
Yes,
It's
it
probably
is.
the worst that is in town, but
And I made a judgment on that, yes. I have it in my notes to say, as you pull in there, that is the one.
yeah. The rest of it's not as bad. It's actually not terrible.
You're absolutely accurate.
So, sometimes you have to kind of piece things together to fix the worst spots.
So where does 2,500 feet, you're talking about from the corner down here, up on Federal Corner?
Yes, I would start at 109A.
Right. So where does 2,500 feet go?
Power line, maybe?
How far up Federal Corner does 2,500?
I do not measure. I don't know which.
That's $55,000 at the current rate of travel. And at the $22 a foot.
It's reclaimed as 12,500 because it's under a mile. The 2.5-inch pavement, its subbase is 53,700. I said there's at least 2 or 3 culverts for $4,000. And we do the shoulders for 22,800. That's a $93,000 expenditure on the first 2,500 feet. Those were my figures. Not to belabor the point, but I always go back to the paperwork about pavement, and after 5 years, it falls off the table as far as repairs. If you can pave it in 5 years, you're spending $1. Wait a couple of years and it goes $4 and $5, it drops off precipitously. That, here again, that, look at Durgan Road, actually look at Ledge Hill Road. With all the truck traffic over it, it's starting to cup a little bit. And pavement moves it, it's flexible. There's a lot of truck traffic over there. And every truck that goes over it pounds it like me taking a hammer and putting rosettes in.
I guess I need to know what we're gonna tell the budget committee, what we're gonna recommend. Because your numbers on that one, and I'm not
Yep.
questioning your veracity, but it's $37 a foot versus his current running average of 22. So there's a lot of territory here.
Yep.
It's a
For example,
50% increase.
on those roads there, it's reclaiming, culvert repair, and having the shoulders packed. It's
Right.
not just paving.
No, I appreciate that, but that, the
Yep.
280 feet of Durgan Road, which is 380 feet longer than the 2,500 feet that you're talking about. You've got down at 65,000, right? It was 165,000.
65,200.
Yep.
Okay, why is that number so much less than the 2,500 feet on North Line Road?
Because it doesn't include any of the work that we have to do ahead of time. That's just paving, the reclaiming paving. It doesn't have anything to do with us coming in and excavating out ditch
It
lines.
says
And neither,
reclaim 2,280 feet
Yep.
is $11,200.
Yes, it's 4.9 dollars a linear foot.
Okay,
To pave a base coat is 21,
I'm thinking the project, I don't care about the individual items.
that's
so
how I
much as
broke it down.
If we're doing 2,500 feet on North Line Road, we should pay the same amount of money as we're paying for 2,500 feet of Durgan Road.
There's more culverts. It's $5,000 more in culverts.
well, I see where what you're saying is, we've got $93,000 on Federal Corner. If you take the $5,000 in culverts out,
Yeah.
that takes it to 88,000,
Yeah.
okay? 88,000 for 2,500 feet of Federal Corner, all right? If you look at 2,280 feet of Durgan, you have $2,000 in there for culverts. Or you take that out, you're at 63,000. So you have $25,000 difference for, 160 feet, 260 feet.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I guess that's where you
Right.
explained it well.
So,
I'm confused why one road costs $30 a foot or $37 a foot, but your running average is $22 or $23 a foot. And maybe that's absolutely true. And if that is absolutely true, then we need a survey and we need to get this nailed down a little higher.
I don't think you're
Just-
looking at, you're not comparing apples to apples.
I'm-
He's giving you a better breakdown. What you're looking at here is just a paving
no,
company.
what we're
No,
looking
no,
at.
no, we're looking at Lloyd's numbers.
We're looking at Lloyd's
Oh,
numbers.
oh, you are,
All
okay.
right,
'Cause
okay.
when you said
There's
200
4 items in
2,000.
each, all right, for 2,280 feet, including a little bit of culvert repair, you're $65,000. For Federal Corner, for 2,500 feet, which is 220 feet more, you're at $93,000. That doesn't include any road rebuilding. It includes a couple of culverts. But
Well, it does include
but-
some reclamation.
Well,
Whatever
when
that-
I, yeah, grind and reclaim, but the road improvements is when you dig out the boulders, when you rework the ditches, when you put in culverts and that sort of thing, right?
Yes, yep.
Okay,
So, anyway,
but there's still that enormous spread.
yeah,
So we have to be able to speak with authority to this.
You know what, I actually think it's because of the road edges, I believe.
Correct. There's 2 edges.
well, all right, but you got $5,000 to do Durgan, and you got $23,000 to do Federal Corner. So,
So that's the big difference,
yeah,
I think, right
so
there.
why does it cost $18,000 more for an extra 220 feet is on the
Yep.
road edges? You're right, that's the,
The shoulders, yeah.
yep, on the shoulders.
17,000 for 500 less feet, 500 more feet, 440 more feet.
Right.
Yeah, the 22,000 on Federal Corners looks a little high.
every foot of this road versus this road is $526.40 more.
Why?
When you take the cost to reclaim, the cost to pave, and the cost to gravel both sides,
Yeah.
times 2, it's $526 for every foot.
Okay.
And then I multiplied the number of feet out. Then as I walked Durgan Road, I thought there were 2 culverts that needed to be replaced. As I walked Federal Corner Road,
That can't be $500, boy. 1,000 feet would be $500,000. And we got 2,000 feet, should be $1 million. We're not spending, I
Okay.
think you got your decimal point
maybe,
wrong.
52.
Okay,
Okay.
so,
Well, I've raised the issue, guys.
it's gonna be more and more difficult. I mean, the unfortunate thing is that I have to be here for another 2 years.
Yes.
And we're gonna go through this every year until we figure out how we're gonna do it.
Mhm.
And we should be able to come up with a reasonable figure on a perfect basis. All of these roads are in Tuftonboro. Tuftonboro's geology isn't that different from one area to another. It might be a little rockier here and a little sandier there. We should be able to come up with a budget number for how many miles we're gonna do.
Right.
Sure.
I mean, I just don't like that big a spread. It just doesn't make me.
Well, it appears there are some numbers here that may not be consistent, but we could spend a lot of time sitting in this meeting and not
We
get
have
where we need
already.
it. So the question is, do we, and whether the roads that get done this year happen to be Durgan and Federal Corner, or Durgan and Brown, or some other roads, doesn't have to be settled until the spring. The real question that has to go to town meeting is, how much are we gonna spend this year to do road improvement and paving? And for the last number of years, it's been leveled at $235,000. So do we want to keep it at $235,000, or do we want to throw more money at it? And if we throw more money at it, there's no question that we will be able to pave more miles of road this year. But, you know, you can make that argument with everything. If you throw more money at it, you can do more of that this year.
Well, I don't think we can ignore the Shirley Way issue. There's significantly more people living over there than are living on Federal Corner Road for 2,500 feet. So consequently, traffic's gonna be a little heavier.
Mhm.
So I think we really do need to add $25,000 to our requested warrant article, at least to get that part done. What do you think?
I would like to do something with that, and I thought there was maybe some money that we got back from the state that could go towards doing that project, that we talked about last fall. I didn't know if that was an option.
Well, when you're talking
Yes.
about funding, we can do it a number of different ways, and I'm not a proponent of one or the other. First of all, we've used the betterment easement in Zadidar Farms. It's a little bit more cumbersome because there's 50 houses up on Shirley Way rather than 11. Number 2 is, I think it's double the number of towns and cities that have tacked on $5 for every motor vehicle registration. And it goes to town meeting to allow it, number 1, and number 2, to vote what specific projects get done with that money. We also have the $70,000 and change that came back from the governor. And I'm not hinting that we go one way or the other, but there are those resources out there.
And I think we need to have a better number in the springtime, what it's gonna cost, but I think we should probably address it. I mean, that road came apart last year in the springtime when we were plowing, and it came apart already this fall on Shirley Way, so I agree, I think it needs to be addressed.
And not to throw a wrench in the mix here, but we do have a culvert survey. And we've got, aside from Sodom Road Bridge, which we've already talked about,
I was gonna bring that
there's
up
some other
next.
culverts that are in failure that we need to look at. And I don't think there's anything in Jim's budget to address those. And do they become part and parcel of this warrant article? Or do we have another warrant?
Do you wanna talk about that now? Shift gears?
No, I'm bringing it up.
I was going to bring it up because I've done some reading of it.
I was splitting wood, so I'll let you handle the detail.
Are we all set on what we discussed about roads?
I think so, but I think we're gonna have to have an additional discussion about where we're gonna go, because we're gonna have another budget meeting February 6th, thank you. So sometime between now and then,
Yep.
I think we need to figure out where we're gonna head with this.
On paving, mean to cut you off.
Is there,
On paving, have you read the presentation of All States Paving? They've done 5 miles over in Ossipee. You're familiar with them, right?
I am, yes.
Okay, let's shift. Next is culverts. Have you read the culvert report?
The one that yes, we got last time, correct, yes.
This is not an attack, Jim.
No, I think we've actually improved quite a bit since I
Okay.
started, so it was worse.
Yes, there are 222 culverts, there are 32 that are in failure. On map 1, that lists 29 that need immediate repair, and there's 19 that are just not structurally appropriate. On map 2, there are 5 that are not serviceable. On map 4, there's 27 catch basins that empty into a culvert, and guess where the culvert goes? We collect all the bad stuff in the catch basin in Houdini, we deliver it someplace, in the environment.
Well, that's the point of cleaning them out every year too, so
Yes.
that doesn't do that. but-
What happens is, these catch basins, they clean themselves out.
If you don't maintain them.
Right, if you have a catch basin here and the overflow takes the silt out, there's no way of you recapturing it. It's not designed appropriately. On map 5, when they went through, prior to winter, a half of our culverts, 25 were half full, 7 were 3/4 full, 13 were packed full, and there were 37 storm drains that needed attention. And we put no money in your budget. You can't be successful.
We do some out of our regular general
Yes.
funding, our summer maintenance, spring and summer with that. So
Well, I
we are
think-
still cleaning them.
I think a review of that culvert report married to our paving warrant article. I mean, how many of these culverts that are not serviceable currently are gonna fall under our paving schedule? So that it becomes part of the repair to replace that culvert.
Yep.
My recollection is that when you rebuild a road, you do the culverts at the
Correct.
same time.
Yes.
And I believe you're replacing them with the plastic
Yep.
culverts now, right? To get away from the rotting that we had with the old metal ones.
Correct.
And they're smooth, right?
Yes.
So some of the failed culverts, I don't know, this may very well be in sections of the road that you're gonna be working on this coming year. already.
Correct. There's no point in just digging up the road to change the culvert when you have plans to redo the road, in the next 3 years or whatever.
So-
If it's not in failure, complete
Right.
failure.
That continues the discussion of actually having a plan.
Correct.
So we need to have a plan for all the roads and be able to justify the money that we're spending accordingly. I mean, we may go to the town meeting with a $300,000 article if we can defend it. But currently, it's not an easy thing to defend because we don't see the totality. I think I'd ask you to put together sort of like a CIP report, I guess, where you'd list all of the roads, when they were last paved, what culverts are in failure. And then we can get together a time schedule. You know, sort of like the fire department replacing their engine every 20 years. If we knew, so if Shirley Way comes to us and says, oh, the road's in failure, currently we can't say with certainty when you're gonna get to it. So everything becomes a reaction as opposed to an action.
Yeah. We do have a somewhat of a plan as far as the paving for 10 years, so that's part of it, I guess.
Yeah. And marry that to the culvert replacement report that we just got.
Is that this copy that you did in 2016?
You gave us one in this past fall, right?
Yeah, I do it every year. Yep, it
And
gets
that- and
updated.
you made a copy, that was the one you gave us this year, right?
No, that's not this year. That's
That
2
was
years
last
old.
year, yeah.
That's 2 years old.
Yeah.
I don't remember one, but at any rate,
I mean, for example, North Line Road, you have on 2022, and Shirley Way was 2023.
which is 5 years from now, which is not gonna happen.
But I think that I changed those. I think I changed the scheduling on that this past year, if I remember correctly. I remember changing, I know for sure, North Line I moved up.
No, but then we can make decisions about, like, you know, this may be a good year to spend some money on paving if paving prices are cheap. It's not gonna always be cheap.
Right.
So, it's like borrowing money, it's a good time to borrow money when the interest rates are low, but they're not gonna always be low.
Still borrowing money, yes. Now, are you pleased with the Sades culvert assessment that you read?
Sure.
Were they accurate?
I mean, I'm sure they probably did a better analysis than what we did, you know, but we have an idea of what's out there, and what they have is probably a little bit more detailed, so, yeah, I think they did a good job.
I'm sure you see them from a different perspective in that as you view how the water flows through culverts, you get a picture of the ones that have more problems than others, whereas they went through and did a physical inspection and that sort of thing, and so there's undoubtedly some detail in their report that's beyond just the observing, okay, it's backing up going through this culvert, or it's not going through at all, or the road's collapsing on it, kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, and I know I mean, I picked out a couple of culverts of the last 6 roads that were picked out, which was,
The reason I asked that question
Not gonna
is,
fix
you know, I
this.
came to you a couple of years ago saying this was available, you know, we investigated it and supported it. Isn't it amazing that these people also do pavement conditions, guardrails, and bridge inventories for us? I'm pleased with their comprehensive GPS work.